Welcome to the Midnight Archive. I'm producer Mike. Tonight we're going to do something just a little bit different. We're going to move into a story about a couple that has found out on their honeymoon night that the house they're in is haunted. There's more than one surprise in this story. Enjoy.
The old Victorian house stood like a wedding cake left too long in the rain, its white paint peeling like dried frosting. Frank and Mary Henderson had found this charming bed and breakfast through a last-minute booking site, complete with heart-shaped everything and a price that seemed too good to be true. As they stood before the ornate front door on this moonless October night, neither suspected that some bargains come with a price far beyond money.
Well, Mary, this is it. Our first night as husband and wife in, well, wherever this place is exactly. The GPS seemed to give up about 3 miles back, but hey, adventure, right? I have to say, for $39 a night, this place has real character. Look at those gargoyles on the roof. And is that a weather vane shaped like a coffin?
Frank, darling, I need to tell you something important. Something I should have mentioned before we said our vows. It's about me, about who I really am underneath all this. This abundant womanhood. I know this isn't the ideal time, but I can't keep pretending anymore, especially not tonight when we're supposed to. Well, you know, honey.
Though Mary gripped Frank's arm in fear. Not of the gloomy house, but of the wedding night to come. What surprises may come. Mary's confession hung in the air like fog as a door somewhere inside the house creaked open by itself, followed by the distinct sound of footsteps that weren't theirs.
Did you hear that, sweetheart? Sounds like we might not be alone in our romantic getaway. And what were you saying about womanhood? Are you trying to tell me you're more of a tomboy than I realized? Because honestly, Mary, I married you for your mind and your mysterious qualities have always been part of your charm.
Oh, Frank, if only it were that simple. What I'm trying to say is that under this wedding dress, under all these layers of silk and satin and certain undergarments that create illusions, there might be some surprises that could fundamentally change how you see our marital obligations tonight.
As if summoned by Mary's cryptic confession, the temperature in the foyer dropped 20 degrees, and both newlyweds could see their breath-forming ghostly clouds in the suddenly frigid air. Even Mary's blouse began to grow new points. The couple's luggage had mysteriously vanished from where they'd left it by the door, though neither had seen it move. Frank fumbled for a light switch while Mary clutched her bouquet like a shield, the wilted roses seeming to whisper secrets in a language neither could understand.
Well, this is certainly atmospheric. Though I have to admit, Mary, I'm more concerned about your mysterious revelation than any missing luggage or supernatural temperature drops. Are you trying to tell me you're different somehow? Because I have to say, I've always suspected there was something beautifully unconventional about you.
Frank, my darling, naive husband, what I'm desperately trying to communicate is that our wedding night might not go according to traditional expectations. You see, certain aspects of my physical reality might not align with your assumptions about marital consummation. In fact, you might discover that your bride has been keeping some rather significant secrets about the nature of, oh, how do I put this delicately?
Before Mary could finish her stammering confession, the house itself seemed to respond with a low, rumbling laugh that echoed through the walls like thunder trapped in a bottle. Every door in the hallway slammed shut simultaneously, and the couple found themselves locked inside with whatever was making that terrible, amused sound.
Okay, now I'm definitely more worried about the house than your mysterious feminine secrets, darling. Though I have to say, your timing for relationship revelations is impeccable. Here we are, potentially trapped in a haunted house, and you're trying to tell me something about surprises. Are you perhaps suggesting that well,
The Victorian mansion settled around them like a predator getting comfortable with its prey. Frank tested each door handle while Mary paced nervously, her wedding dress rustling like autumn leaves in a wind that shouldn't exist indoors.
Frank, sweet, oblivious Frank, what I've been trying to confess is that your blushing bride might actually be. These curves you've been admiring, this voice you find so melodious, years of practice. And most importantly, the intimate moments you're expecting tonight might require some serious adjustments to your expectations about traditional relations. We aren't in Maybury anymore, sweetheart.
Mary, I have to admit this is all quite shocking. But right now I'm more concerned about why the wallpaper is bleeding and why that portrait of the stern-looking woman keeps following us with her eyes. Though I must say, if you're telling me you're not a regular woman, it does explain why you were so enthusiastic about watching football during our courtship.
As if offended by their domestic drama, the house shuddered violently, causing picture frames to rattle and dust to rain from the ornate ceiling. In the growing darkness, something that definitely wasn't either of them began humming the wedding march in a voice like grinding glass.
We're trapped in a haunted house with what sounds like a very judgmental ghost. Frank, darling, I need you to know that underneath this elaborate bridal facade, you might find some surprises that could complicate our honeymoon plans significantly.
Well, Mary, I suppose we have bigger problems right now than questions about your identity. Because I'm not sure I'm ready for that particular revelation while also dealing with supernatural persecution.
The house responded to Frank's confusion with what could only be described as ghostly laughter, and somewhere in the walls, the sound of chains dragging across wooden floors suggested that their night of revelations had only just begun. Their world would turn upside down tonight in many ways. It's only fitting that the couple who rushed into marriage without the proper paperwork would also rush into a house that would never let go. Even if Frank had a serious bone to pick with Mary, or rather vice versa. No pun intended.